Extended apologies for the cameraman, soundman, editor, director of this video. But let's progress and have a look at the Husqvarna LT100 lawnmower that is right on. So, quick walk round. Orange in colour, grey seat, engine on the front, typically similar to a lot of the lawnmowers, no headlights, small tires on the front. You sit towards the rear of the lawnmower, so your weight is over the rear wheels, which are larger and can take a little bit more weight. We have a deck underneath, typical, and we have a side discharge. So we've got a flat and we've got a tube which then transmits the grass up into the collector, which happens to be on the rear of the machine behind the wheels, with two, in this case, flexible collection bags. Now some have a rigid collection, but in this case they're flexible, which makes it a bit more lightweight. Then we got a lid on the top. So coming around in a bit more detail, we have the steering wheel on top of the console where the fuel tank is held, and on towards the floor we have two levers. On the right we have the engage and disengage of the mower deck, which is a manual unit, not an electrical switch controlled unit. And on the left we have the clutch brake hold, which when you want to start the vehicle you can put your foot on the brake clutch and it will latch in place. And when you actually want to discharge and you want to start moving, you hold and it releases, and it allows the clutch to engage the drive when in gear. So up onto the console we have a speed control, which is full forward for choke, and then when you've started you can go back to a running speed or even tick over. Coming back to the side of the gearbox, we have start, run and off position on the key, which is turn for on if you want and keep going for start. Gears, we have one step for reverse, arrow shows, and 4 forward motions, as in slow to quite fast. I guess about 8 to 10 mile an hour, no more than that. Good walking speed, so a bit lower than that possibly. On the right hand side of the machine we have deck height control, and we have in Husqvarna we have an indicator which actually you can drop the deck to a set height. If different people want to use it, then you can have different heights according to the grass or field that you are cutting. So very good piece of control that is. Now the deck itself, I think it's a 36-inch deck. As I said before, we got side discharge. I do have a bungee on there, so to show its use that I use, I just hold it up so it's out of the way when I'm storing it. So if I take off the tube that lifts the grass, I can get it into a tighter space. So the collection itself is in 2 parts, and in my opinion probably best used with dry grass. When you cut wet grass it could basically stick in the tube and give you a little bit more problem. So I would recommend this type of mower for dry cutting. Then when it discharges, gives you an indication that you still got a vacuum or a pressure to push the grass up rather, into the collector. And then when you want to empty, simply remove by sliding each of the units to empty, and obviously replace is put back in. Easy. We'll go back round to the seat, and in this one, no rips, so that's nice. So when we lift the seat, you have a battery housing in a plastic box, and there we have it. So Husqvarna's thought about these things. Now, showing the safety side of things, I've actually removed the lead and plug from the seat switch, which is, in my case, that's what I would like to do. So the circuit itself is back under the battery tray, so all there ready for the next person if needed. Now Husqvarna have put a label on the unit, and they can give you information like year of manufacture, and in this case it was made in 2008, so the model can be shown and also where it was made as well. So when you go into the detail of the label, you can get a lot of information. So walking around again to the front, putting the seat back down, we have the engine department where it's hinged on the front. So there's a little lip you can put your fingers in. When you lift the bonnet, pivots on the front, just down there, and you can actually remove the bonnet as well. So if you carefully hold the bonnet, I'm going to hold the bonnet, and you can lift away, exposing the LT100, which has a 10 horsepower engine. Now I think the LT120 has a 12 horsepower engine. Similar looking, similar control. On this one I fitted a fuel shut-off valve, which I think most mowers really should have, so they don't allow any leakage into the engine itself, which gives you problems. Easy access, Brazen Stratton engine, spark plug maintenance, obviously oil fill and drain plug, so maintenance is quite straightforward. Electrically nice and tidy, and there you have the bonnet, which is easily removed. So on a quick walk round, the LT100 made by Husqvarna. The actual jelly mold bed is used on other mowers of different manufacturers, but very nice, and I do enjoy the colour. So there it is, Husqvarna LT100 4-speed mower with manual engage on the deck. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, keep on tinkering. I do have to mention that on the floor, as you've seen on the previous section, there was a cast iron weight, and this goes inside the front wheel in the 2 holes shown, and that gives you extra weight on the front of the mower, so that when the bags on the back have got something in, it's basically balances out when you get off the mower, and not only balances out, it adds extra weight for when you actually go into drive, keeps the mower wheels on the ground when and if the clutch is a little bit too frisky. So in my case, I've removed them because I like the lighter steering. So there you have it, and there's one on each side, of course. A closer inspection with the deck, I have repaired them, because these things, as we all know, are quite expensive, and if you keep them dry underneath, i.e. clean them before you put them away for 6 months, they won't rot out underneath. So this one I had to do a little bit of titivating and repair. So when you actually go into the field, if you can see, there's a lip right along the front of the mower deck at the bottom. What that does, it adds a little bit more rigidity, God, that's a word, isn't it, to when you actually go forward into grass, that it keeps it vertical, doesn't make the front weak, and therefore should make it last a little bit longer, especially when you hit those hills you can't see when you're going forward. So that's a little bit of preparation to keep the deck a little bit better. And obviously new belts as shown, so keep them on, you look after it and it will look after you. So again, keep on tinkering. Sorry for the extra bit, but I did forget that. All right, take care, bye.